Why are there so many shows starring Muppets and dozens of movies too? They said they'd watch everyone and they mean it. It's something that they've got to do. So now they've pledged you a lifelong commitment. The Muppets, Matthew and Sam.
Welcome to Commitment, the podcast where two friends have vowed to watch all things Muppets. I'm Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And this week we are here to discuss the 7th of 12 Jim Henson Hour episodes. This one's titled Fitness, which aired on Sunday, July 16th, 1989. And we are once again not alone. It's, the spooky season is upon us, folks.
There's ghosts during the Christmas season.
Yeah, at least 3, according to
British,
Scrooge.
There's ghosts, yeah.
But today we are joined in our discussion of this episode by a special guest. He's a Tough Pigs writer, a Muppet Wiki admin, the guy who helps us plan our Sesame Street episodes and shares anything the Muppets do new in our Discord with us. It's Shane Keating.
Woo!
Is that
a ghost?
That was a ghost.
It's a ghost of an ambulance.
Oh, wow.
Excited you're here.
From the Cars world.
The Cars universe. They become ghosts, too.
Oh, but where would the ghost ambulance get taken to the hospital? How would that work?
That's why it died.
Oh, yeah. The other ambulance showed up and shit. This ain't going to work.
Can't fit. We need an ambulance. Now, this is bringing up a lot of questions for me. I guess it would be a tow truck, right?
This is why we brought you here today, Shane.
Is Tow Mater he's a first responder.
Yeah, really. Thank you for your service, Tow Mater.
We've all been laughing at him. He's got a stressful job, though.
1 minute in, and we're already so off the track.
Far afield.
See, Shane, now you understand why we record for so long,
Shane,
and our episodes are so long.
It was your fault, too.
This is why I'm here. I'm going to derail this entire show, make it 5 hours.
Yeah, if we even say the words Jim Henson in this episode, I'll be surprised.
But thank you. I'm pleased to be the least famous person you've had so far.
Is that true? I don't think so.
Maybe fame, maybe not fame, but well known by other people.
You may be equally as famous as Nick Jenkins.
I didn't want to list names. But I feel like
he has a podcast, though.
Through Complexly, he's had podcasts, he's had an audience.
That's true.
But I think there are people who we've had on the podcast who are less public-facing than you are by choice and don't necessarily want to engage with the online fandoms as much. So I'd say, you don't have a credit on an old Henson project like some people do that we've interviewed. But for us... You are a very exciting get.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I am, but I'll take whatever ego juice I can get.
We got a whole vat in the corner. Don't worry. So I listed a few of the things that you do in the Muppet fandom, but that is not all of the things. So, how about you tell our listeners who don't already know about you what it is you currently do in the Muppet fandom and how you came to be this sort of ever-present being.
Oh, like I'm so omnipresent, I guess.
I think you are. When you got a hand on Muppet Wiki and a hand on Tough Pigs, that's kind of the two cornerstones.
Yep.
Yeah, I was born in 93, so kind of by the late 90s and early 2000s, we had a personal computer, and that's when the internet was really starting to be a thing. And I was a big Sesame Street kid. Like, that was number one for me. Muppets were number something, but Sesame Street was number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew they had a website. And at some point, I was trying to find where else is other Sesame stuff on the internet. And I remember specifically there was a website. I think you can find it through archive.org, their Wayback Machine. It was called sesame70s.com. And it was dedicated to the 2 disco albums they put out.
Wow. A fan site.
Yes, a fan site. Back when, those were more of a thing.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember they had a links page, and through there, I was able to find Muppet Central, the website.
Mm.
And then that was like a huge boon to me because they had like episode guides, they had like merchandise pictures, they had their forum, and people were talking about all these things. And it was great for me to be able to read, like, I don't know that Sesame skit, or I don't know this Muppet Show thing. And like, boy, I hope I get to see these things one day, because this was pre YouTube and pre DVD box sets.
Mm-hmm.
So all I could do was just read and hope.
You
Use
just
your
imagine,
imagination, yeah.
Yeah.
Just in your head, you're like, I bet that's funny.
Wow, Ernie putting a pot on Bert's head. Imagine
Oh
that.
man, no one will ever know what it sounds like, but we can all picture it together.
And then it was through their links page is how I found Tough Pigs back when Danny was still running it. And that was also a huge boon because they were doing like transcripts of these skits with photos, and sometimes they'd have MP3s. So I would at least get to hear some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, through obviously Muppet Wiki was born out of Tough Pigs. And that was like an even bigger boon because people were posting screenshots of things that I hadn't seen. I was getting to see episode guides, more learning about characters and everything and productions. And then eventually, once I felt like I had the courage to join those things, I could be like a little active. And then once I was active and contributing, then I rose to power in a way. And in between all that, I was doing little things like on YouTube. People might know Marshall Grover. I was starting to upload stuff there. I had a Tumblr for a little while that was a complete... One thing I've realized is almost everything I've done is a ripoff of things other people have done.
That's everything.
But
That's everything.
Made it Muppety. And I realized when you guys were talking to Danny, it's like, oh, that is what everybody is done, because he started Muppet Zine because of Dark Shadows, and he started Muppet Wiki because of Dark Shadows. And
Well, and just even talking to Danny, it's one of those things where it's hard to wrap your head around of like, oh, right, this stuff literally wouldn't exist unless you just decided one day that it was a good idea. And that's just wild to try and put yourself in that headspace of somebody who just thinks, you know what, I'm going to really set this the spark off for this Muppet online fandom.
I can't remember where he said this, but I believe he said like he was kind of out of Muppets until he saw Little Muppet Monsters on TV. And then he got back into Muppets again.
What?
And it's like, wow.
What the heck?
If that failure of a show didn't happen, who knows where we'd be. Oh, so I was ripping off a SpongeBob Tumblr that they would just like post screenshots, and they would like transcribe the quotes underneath it. And I was doing that with Muppet stuff. And then eventually, like, they transitioned to putting the captions on the photos, and so I had to learn how to do
layers. Oh no, layers,
layers. Yeah, I had to learn to do that. That's how I learned to make GIFs, because they started making GIFs, and I don't.
So really, it's all a competition.
You were just camped out on their website, being like, "What can I do next?
How can I be better?"
I mean, I will fully admit that there are plenty of Photoshop things I have done because I feel like another Muppet account, whether it's Tough Pigs or somebody else, has posted something that reminds me or like sparks an idea that I'm like, well, this is kind of just directly influenced. Some might say a ripoff, but now I can't not do it because my brain needs to get this out of it.
That's kind of what Tumblr was too, though. Like, if you weren't on Tumblr, there was so many, like, everything was a ripoff of something, but it wasn't really a ripoff. It was just like a reference to this other Tumblr page that was doing this thing.
So eventually I became an admin on Muppet Wiki. For a peek behind the curtain, that's a lot of just talking about policy and like, maybe we should do character pages like this, or maybe this user's a bit of a troublemaker. Maybe we should block them.
How many people are in those discussions?
There is an admin team of like maybe a dozen.
Wow.
But we have our own private Discord server, and in that, even though most of them are in it, maybe like half of them are actively talking about stuff.
Right. So some people have the admin access but aren't necessarily as active as you are.
Yeah. But we all have the button that can change your edit in one click. For Tough Pigs, generally I do a lot of the news just because that's I'm plugged into a lot of stuff and I'm paying attention to what's happening. Every so often I'll do a review or I'll make a fun video, or especially during this 70-year anniversary, we're doing the 70 Year 70 Muppets podcast, and everybody has done at least one of those, and I did about a half dozen of those.
Is that a situation where you're seeing some news and there's like a Tough Pigs Discord or a text chain where it's like, all right, who's on it? Who's got time today to write this story?
That is precisely. We have our own private Discord server. That is pretty much exactly what happens. We'll see a link, we'll share it. If somebody has the time, they'll put it up, or it'll just wait until somebody gets to it.
Do you have sources, or do you just have like a Google alert that's like
I just like Google. I'm just Googling and looking stuff up.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like there is definitely times Tough Pigs gets that exclusive source thing, but that's usually pretty obvious when it's like exclusive Tough Pigs breaking news. The Muppets say, this just cool, you can do this.
When that kind of thing happens, that's usually Joe or Jared, because they are the ones who are talking to Disney, and the rest of us just get to reap the spoils of, we get to hear it along with them.
I get along those lines of whether it's podcasting with or meeting at events. What's the sort of like? I want to ask, like, who's the coolest person you've met? But I think more the question I'm thinking is like, who's the person who you were maybe the most like starstruck, intimidated by seeing in person after years of being fans of them?
It's generally everybody, because I'm a very shy person and I don't like talking to people, especially if they're well known, because I feel like I'm wasting their time and I'm going to say something stupid or I don't know what I'm going to say.
Then you'll think about it forever.
And I'll be like, there are a lot of times where I'm like, I can't believe I said that to so-and-so. I'm such a dummy. But I'll give probably the big one. So Oscar the Grouch was my favorite character as a kid. And it was 2015. And they were doing a screening of the Carol Spinney documentary at the Museum of the Moving Image. I was going to go. He was going to be there with Oscar. And I had a thing that for the longest time I was hoping he would sign, just at like any event. And so when I got there, I learned that this wasn't announced ahead of time. When I got there, the program showed that before the screening, they were going to do a photo op with people attending. So in the back of the museum, people were just lined up. You gave your phone to Stephanie DeBruzzo and you took a photo with Carol and Oscar.
Wow.
So that was like the first Muppet I met. But the actual bravery part came after the screening. I was with other people. We were talking in the lobby. Carol came out from back in the green room and he was just sitting in the lobby with his wife and I think someone else maybe. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I went over to him. Said, hey, I love Oscar. I have this thing. Do you think you could sign it? And he signed it. And it was a thing that was protected by these little pieces of cardboard. So without saying anything, and like me asking, he took the cardboard and he drew a picture of Oscar saying, hey, Shane, on it.
Wow.
And he signed it. And now I have an original Carol Spinney artwork of my favorite character saying my name.
Wow.
That's so cool.
And now you've actually been able to visit the Sesame Street set, and you've been inside of Oscar's trash can.
That's true. That was a bucket list thing.
I mean, yeah, like I feel like that's like that bucket list that you don't imagine ever is real.
You wouldn't even know to put it on your bucket list.
Yeah.
It would also be crazy to say to somebody, it's on my bucket list to be in Oscar's trash can.
Yeah. They'd be like, keep dreaming, kid.
Yeah.
But it had to be the genuine on the set Oscar's can. Because, there are things
can put you in a trash can. That's no problem.
Yeah, anyone can put you in a trash can, Shane. He's going to ask.
It had to be the real deal. And we were very lucky to get that because we were kind of very limited time-wise and limited space-wise because of where they were shooting. And they were just about to start shooting on the stoop area. And so there was like some crew guy who was like, okay, if you guys want to go shoot in that can, you got to go do it now.
Wow.
And so we were able to do it. And the fun thing about that is you have to crawl in under the gate through the gate in that wall. You have to crawl in under that box to get out. So while I was doing all that, I had no idea Marty Robinson was coming over with Slimy.
Oh, wow.
And so half of my photos are me coming out of the can and just being like, what? Slimy's here.
That's Oscar's reaction every time. Like, what? Hey, Slimy. Well, I feel like you know everything when it comes to Muppets because that's just, the vibe I get.
I know more than the average person does.
I think you know much more than the average person does, though. And I know Sesame Street especially is one of our blind spots on this podcast. And so we often come to you for tips on what to watch or, lately you've been supplying more like historical data of this is the last time these guys performed together, which is super helpful to know because Sesame Street is this big, giant monster of a show.
Yeah.
But I'm curious when you're thinking about whether Sesame Street or general Muppet stuff, do you have like a big blind spot of stuff that you haven't seen or that you don't feel like you know much about, but you are sort of wanting to know more eventually or feel like you should?
Mainly the Creature Shop stuff is just that has never really appealed to me at all. And it's only very recently that I've tried to watch the non-Muppet parts of the Jim Henson Hour, like The Soldier in Death. I watched that just a few weeks ago, and that's the first and only storyteller I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
What'd you think? That's a pretty good one, I think.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was like, oh, this goes very far or further than I thought it would. Especially, this is one of the things about these Creature Shop things is I see them in these like documentaries or these montages, and they only show one clip, and that's all that I know. So that's what I assume the whole thing is like.
Yeah, we made that mistake early on too of like, especially with storyteller things where we're like, I think we know what this show is.
Well, like The Soldier in Death, the clip that they always play is him playing cards with those devils. And I think, oh, that's the whole half hour is him playing games with these devils. And that's like 3 minutes.
That's barely any of it. Yeah.
No, it's about a guy who walks to heaven and then walks to hell, obviously.
And he captures death. And also, you guys just watched Monster Maker. They always play that one clip of the boy meeting the Ultra Gorgon, and it makes it seem like, oh, this puppet's alive and he's gonna like try to take over the world. And it's
not even.
Yeah, it's just, oh, this is a boring family drama about a boy and his dad.
That was so different than what I expected it to be. Yeah, I thought he was gonna meet a bunch of living puppets, and I thought it was fine, but I was disappointed. Yeah,
in our episode, which as we're recording this hasn't come out yet, but like we talk a bit about how it's one of the better things like that it's been a part of the Jim Henson Hour, but it still feels like something that would have benefited from not being part of the Jim Henson Hour because like if it could have been its own full length thing or just had time to delve into some of the weird details that it has in it, it could have been a good movie on its own.
But in terms of like on the Muppet side, there is not a whole lot that I haven't seen. If something has been publicly available one way or another, I probably have seen it. There's a lot of stuff that's, still tucked in the Henson archives that I have not seen. In fact, this year there have been some events at MOMI where they've been like chock full of things that I've never seen before or I've never heard of before. And like, that's just been a huge boon to me personally.
Do you go back and rewatch Muppet things very often? Like, are there standards of like, oh yeah, I rewatch this one every year, but I've only seen Hey Cinderella once?
My attention span in the last few years has gotten like so shot that like watching anything has become just a little bit of a chore more than I would like it. And also I've put more of an emphasis on watching new things, like new movies and new TV shows. So kind of whenever I have the time, I'm like, well, I could rewatch something because I want to rewatch this, but if I have the time, I should try to watch something new, right?
I think that's a good mentality to have. I try to have that too. Like outside of this podcast, I do not watch many Muppet things.
I'll watch like clips and things, but like at this point, I don't really rewatch like full episodes of The Muppet Show or Fraggle Rock unless there's like a reason to. It's really only around like the holidays, like Christmas or Halloween for Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Right.
Or, there's all those Christmas standards that I try to watch every year. And that's really the only time I'll truly rewatch things.
Yeah. On the Muppet Wiki side of things, is there like, you were talking about users you had to ban and stuff like that. Is there like a page that is like the most controversial page, or has there been like what's caused the most problems in Muppet Wiki?
Is it naked Muppets?
Is there a piece of lore that everybody's like, no, this is real?
There are certain pages that are, you know, just by nature of them being a popular character or a popular thing that people just try to add stuff to, and they don't. It's not that, you know, they're trying to vandalize it necessarily. There are certainly those types of people. There was one person way back when regular users had the ability to move pages and rename them. They can't do that now, but they used to be able to. They started renaming everything like Kermit the Frog on Wheels or The Muppet Show on Wheels.
That's really awesome.
Ridiculous. But I think that generally kind of the thing we deal with is people not, you know, we have rules and guidelines, and this is how these things should look. This is how the writing style should be. And people just kind of, you know, don't understand it, or they don't read the rules. So it's like, if you've been reading the website, I think you should know a little bit about you trying to add to it.
I think if I was working on Muppet Wiki, I would argue a lot that Statler and Waldorf should have their own different pages.
What can you say about them individually?
It would just be basically the same page twice.
It would just be two shorter pages.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they'd look really lonely in their pictures, I think, too.
Yeah.
There's not enough photos of them solo to
I guess that
work
makes
with.
sense. Does Bunsen and Beaker each have their own page?
They do.
They do.
Because Beaker, you know,
he's got his own rich inner life without Bunsen.
Yes.
That's true. He's got his own friends and stuff like that.
and Bunsen appeared without Beaker first, so
That's
therefore
true. Yeah.
Oh,
he was
yeah,
a star.
that's
he was
true.
a solo act.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, my last question about Muppet Wiki before we'll move on to the Jim Henson Hour. What's your white whale for the wiki? What is the thing that you don't have a picture of or footage of or a description of even that you're like, this exists, we all know it exists, and yet there's nothing we can do to prove it or show it?
Man, you know, one of the things we did recently, we've been splitting off a lot of stuff. So like bigger pages that were like a list of all like Ernie and Bert skits. We've been splitting those individual skits off into their own pages. And one thing I really want to do is those Rolf IBM films.
Yeah.
Because they're so funny and they're so good. And there's so many of them that like we haven't seen because I don't know how many survived or how many they just are just keeping in the vault or just don't exist. And I would love to be able to split those off and see some of those.
I mean, our white whales will always be a photo of animals, 15-foot puppet head.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
We got to find that guy.
Jim Henson wearing reading glasses. And Jerry Nelson's weird book that he holds up in that one behind the scenes clip.
That's more of a Matt one, I would say.
Until you start adding to the list, they are ours.
But I do picture me and you opening in a big warehouse door someday, and there's a big degraded animal head, and we're like, we knew it.
We knew it. There's too many references to that existing that's one I do believe. There's been fantastical stories told about it being 60 foot tall and all this stuff, and it's like, well, look at it. It's not. But there is plenty of descriptions about a 15-foot puppet head. So
imagine it showed up as part of that auction.
Yeah, that's just the top item. It's just the whole 15-foot puppet head. You can live in it if you want. It's tiny home.
It would cost like $2 million.
Worth
It's
it.
cheaper than a lot of houses around here. So
Ew. Get him, Sam.
Yeah, take that, Governor of Montana.
Oh, God. Well, before we get too deep into politics, we should probably talk about Jim Henson a little bit. So, Sam, what did we watch this week?
we watched the 7th Jim Henson Hour episode titled Fitness, which aired on July 16th, 1989. First, in the Muppet Television segment, Kermit has an episode all about health and fitness prepared, but everyone around him seems to be getting sick. Digit has a cold that he keeps giving to other cast members, and Link Hogthrob found an encyclopedia of silly diseases and has convinced himself that he has all of them and is about to die. And yeah, that's like all established. It doesn't really pay off in any way. So I don't know how to summarize it beyond saying that
Smokey
at the
Robinson's also there.
Well, and at the end, they all sing a song with Smokey Robinson. They sing a Pointer Sister song with Smokey Robinson. The second segment of the hour is a little movie called The Song of the Cloud Forest. Milton is a golden toad who has been dutifully singing his mating song every day for the past 5 years, but has never attracted a female or even heard one return his call. Nevertheless, he persists, even as his friends worry about his growing loneliness. One day, his animal friends overhear some human scientists saying that golden toads are basically extinct, and they decide that they should tell Milton this. Milton takes the news fairly well, but instead of giving up or letting himself be captured by the scientists, Milton decides that he needs to expand his search into other parts of the forest. As he does this, the other animals distract the scientists that are on Milton's trail. They're trying to capture him for science reasons. Eventually, they discover that the scientists have a female toad in a cage that they're using to draw Milton in. He's determined to meet her, but he isn't sure how to do it without being captured. He goes on a nighttime stroll to kind of clear his head, and he meets a huge, wise old crocodile who tells Milton that nothing will change until the humans learn that their destruction of the rainforest is hurting all life on Earth, and that he needs to stand his ground and make the humans hear him and them and nature. So Milton sings the most beautiful song he's ever sung before, attracting the scientists. He appears before them. The whole forest joins in on Milton's song, and the scientists have a change of heart, and they decide to let the female toad go instead of capturing Milton. And then Milton gets to have sex. The end. I tried to do the thing where I looked up what else happened in this time period because I got bored eventually because the 80s are just like a war started. But the Game Boy released
Which
on...
war?
There was a lot of them, Matt. Never even heard of most of them. But the Game Boy released this July 1989. So I thought that was kind of cool.
You made that story sound a lot more coherent.
The Cloud Forest one?
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's kind of falls into like the Fraggle Rock trap that'll happen every now and then where it's like, we're gonna do this, but then they don't actually ever end up doing it. And then like...
You mean the sex?
They're all always about whenever any episode of Fraggle Rock ends, they all just start fucking each other. No, it's just kind of like they're just kind of like sitting around most of it, really talking about stuff they want.
They're animals. What do you want them to do?
Well, Milton keeps being like, I'm gonna go look in other parts of the forest, and then his friends are like, no, you're not, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, he is I mean, both in voice and temperament, he's a bit of a boober frog.
Yeah, for sure. He gets more boobery, I feel like. Well, Boober was given up and died.
He's Boober with hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boober would find something else to distract him from the fact that he knows he'll die, but he's just like, okay, might as well just do this.
He's accepted his death.
He knows he'll die, and he knows he'll die without ever having sex as well. So.
Yeah, Boober's the only one. He's always like coming back from doing the laundry. He's like, you guys did it again?
I gotta do the laundry again. No.
Oh, no, that wasn't on purpose.
Sheets I have to clean.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's what the socks are
Boober,
for.
he's definitely got one of those blue lights. Oh, that's why there's so many socks. Those are Boober needs all the socks.
I don't know how this happened so fast, but we went blue so fast. And I think maybe that's canonical, so Shane add it to the wiki.
Whoops. All right.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that I'm going to read things that maybe Shane wrote a Muppet Wiki. Somebody wrote a Muppet Wiki.
That's weird. That's weird.
It is weirder when you're hearing me quote your things. But according to the July 18th, 1989 issue of the Kentucky New Era, which I'm assuming is a newspaper, this episode was the lowest rated program among all 4 networks, ranking dead last out of 77 shows for the day.
Oh, no.
Bringing in a 3.9 household rating, which means it was watched by about 3.5 million households.
Whoa, what? That's like huge today, though.
Yeah.
Top rated shows 2025. So there's a show apparently on CBS called Tracker that I'd never heard of in my life, but it had approximately 17.4 million viewers.
Oh,
so you can still pull in some high numbers.
Okay.
But it was up against, on the Sunday night, a show called Incredible Sunday on ABC, which was a spinoff of That's Incredible. That was the second worst in the time slot. Had a 5.5 rating.
Second worst is like that's a whole percentage.
Yes. Yes, I think it was even that a show no one's heard of. That was a spinoff of a show that I think was successful because I've at least heard of it, had a better rating. And this doesn't get more encouraging as I read through these, because the next highest out of the 4 main networks was a repeat of 21 Jump Street on Fox.
Oh, no.
That had a 6.7 rating.
A rerun, right?
A rerun of a 21 Jump Street episode had a 6.7 compared to the Jim Henson Hour's 3.9.
Ouch.
And the winner at that time slot was 60 Minutes with a 14.6 rating.
I was just going to say, I think the highest rated show on TV today is also 60 Minutes. Because it's got the highest same day ratings of like the last month. That's weird. People like 60 Minutes a lot.
That could be. Other than sports. You can't.
Yeah, you got a Super Bowl in there or
Can't
something.
top a
People are
football
going
game.
to.
That's true.
But even looking through the rest of the night, so that's like prime time Sunday night. You're like, okay, there's some stiff competition. 3.9 is pretty low, but not the worst, right? You'd be wrong, because even going into the evening, right after Jim Henson Hour, is The Wonderful World of Disney. They got a 7.3 rating right after Jim Henson Hour. So everyone was just like turning on their TVs, seeing Jim and being like, oh, not yet. We'll come back. But even later that night, there was a repeat of Murder, She Wrote on CBS that got a 14.2.
Wow.
There was the Gary Shandling show on Fox at 9:30 at night that got a 6.6. And even a show called Duet that was a repeat at 10:30 p.m. had a 5.5 rating.
Wow. And it's not even back then. I don't know if the rerun is like, oh, this is one of the most famous episodes of Murder, She Wrote. It's just, this is an episode.
This is Murder,
It's
She
probably
Wrote.
the one from last week. They're like, let's show it again.
I was like, have I seen this one before? I don't know, but
doesn't matter.
At least I'm not watching Jim Henson.
Unfortunately, even though they are already burning off episodes of this canceled show, it is still not bringing up the ratings for NBC, which I imagine is why they don't continue burning off all of the episodes of this show.
It's not that bad, is it? I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't feel that bad, but again, I also haven't watched that rerun of Murder, She Wrote, so I don't know what I'm missing out on. Maybe we should be doing a Murder, She Wrote podcast. Well, we start off this episode with Jim and the lion, who are both supposed to be dressed up tropically for this episode. But the lion didn't get the memo, unfortunately.
I like that he implies that he and the lion kind of hang out socially. They go to dinner together.
There's an implication because at the end, the lion is wearing a tie.
Yeah.
And Jim is stoked because he's like, oh, thank goodness. It means we can go to a nice restaurant for change.
Yeah. This is his only friend left in the world.
Well, it's not clear if they're friends or they're coworkers.
Or more.
I mean, for
Jim thinks they're friends. The lion just thinks they're coworkers.
The lion hates Jim. The lion, it's been established, doesn't like Jim that much.
That's a line Jim has blurred before. And I also think at this point, he's sort of...
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, dating his assistant.
Oh.
But I think this is also, we've talked about Jim is not working with his friends currently. He's working with a lot of new people who he's not as close with as the old gang.
He needs some new friends.
Yeah, so he's trying to bond with whoever is puppeteering that lion and is like, will you go to dinner with me? You can say yes as the lion.
I love when he talks about the clip, when he talks about Song of the Cloud Forest and the clip comes out of his pocket. I think that's pretty fun. And he even looks at it like, here it is.
Whoa.
Yeah, he had to think ahead of time. How are we going to show this clip? I know. It'll come out of my pocket.
He did have to say that. Yes.
Or he was on set saying, everyone, this is the most important moment of this episode. Everyone pay attention. Everyone, eyes on me. See this pocket? This is where the clip's going to come out of, okay? It's going to go, whoop. And now I know everyone has to work overtime to make this happen. It's 1989. This is not an easy thing to do in After Effects. Yeah. So I will pay you double for making this happen. It's the most important detail of this episode.
That one effect cost $3,000.
Yeah. He had to trade in his old Rolls Royce for it.
Most important effect of my career, really.
Yeah, this is my favorite effect I've ever done, actually. Well, yeah, this episode, I think in the part of Muppet Television, I think has a premise that is strong for a Muppet Show type episode of Kermit wanting a theme about health and fitness and everyone getting sick around him.
Yeah.
But yet something about it just doesn't work.
I agree. And when I was writing my summary, I started off like, this was a fun episode. And then I remembered partway through, they all forget that they're sick.
You know what the big part of it is? And I think this is something you guys have brought up in each Muppet television thing. It's that what's happening in the control room has no bearing on the skits at all. Pretty much.
Yes. Especially in this one, yeah, where everybody could get sick partway through the skit.
Kermit specifically says it's going to. Like, everyone's getting sick. The chickens have this sneezing problem that is sending them shooting across the room. And Smokey Robinson comes on the TV and is like, hey, I got to do my closing number. And he's like, okay, as long as you're okay doing it with jet-propelled chickens. And Smokey's like, that's my favorite kind of performance. And you're like, all right, here we go.
Here we go.
Not a chicken flying across the screen.
There are
even
chickens
once.
in it, and they seem perfectly healthy to me.
They recovered very quickly.
Yeah.
Or even at the beginning, they establish Digit has a cold.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that all the band, they've been jogging around the parking lot and they're all exhausted. But as soon as they go to do Smokey's number, like, it just goes perfectly.
And is that not the most boring musical number of all time? They just play it normal. What?
I've said this, and I said this on your Discord. I do not have a problem with a straight performance of a song in a Muppet thing. This, I thought, was a very sleepy song to make your opening number.
Well, and even like the straight, like I'm thinking of like Blue Bayou as a straight performance, but it's in a nice set, and they have like the set. But in this one, they're just in a recording studio. It'd be like if you walked in and saw Smokey Robinson actually recording this, you'd be like, okay.
He also looks like he's being held against his will a little
He
bit.
looks like he's having an okay time. He does have to say, I'm a big Link Hogthrob fan. Which
I know. I was like, I think we found the low point of Smokey Robinson's career is because he had to say the words, I'm a big Link Hogthrob fan. Because then that's just in the public record forever.
Yep.
And someone's going to add that to a
in
newspaper.
Muppet Wiki. That's going to be a Muppet Wiki.
Yeah. Smokey Robinson, big Link Hogthrob fan. Everyone knows that about him.
One day.
Yes.
Yeah. Sadly, we must report on the death of a big Link Hogthrob fan today. Smokey Robinson has passed.
You'll never guess the celebrity's favorite Muppet.
Smokey's like, but that's a script.
They made me say that.
Yeah, I did like, this is maybe the most I've ever liked Link, at least in the Muppet television segments. And again, mostly this is because he gets one funny line where he wakes up after getting hit in the head with a book of funny diseases, and he sees Clifford, and he's like, I passed out. I don't know where I got this book, and I got a big old lump on my head.
I don't know where I got this book. Yeah,
That's the part that tickled me.
I like the line where he goes in a wheelchair because his legs are gonna go, and Vicky's like, "Oh, your legs are gone," and he goes, "No, but I don't want to be standing up when they do. I have some pride, you know."
It's so weird that there's a episode of the Jim Henson Hour that's about Link Hogthrob. Why? What is that?
Because they don't have
anybody else.
They don't have. Right. They don't really have. Well, they have Jerry, but they don't use them. Yeah. They don't have Richard. They don't have Frank.
Hey, it'd be so easy to throw Floyd into any of these episodes, and he could be exactly like what he was in Muppet Show Sex and Violence.
I mean, they have a new Floyd, and it's beard.
Yeah, but if you can remember back all the way back to the days of Sex and Violence, Floyd's energy in that is sort of relishing in the thing not going well. He's sort of like, hey, true. Froggy, sorry, your show sucks.
The anti-establishment thing. Yeah, that's right.
We saw a little cameo from Kylie and PJ, our play-along video sibling friends on the TVs in the background.
I'm glad you brought that up. I couldn't not pay attention to all the stuff in the background.
They were just like bouncing the whole time.
It seemed like there was more going on in the background this time. Like there were more old clips and like clips of the Muppet Show.
I saw something with George the janitor back there. There's also, if you caught, there's something where Lindbergh is like riding a motorcycle with a bird reporter.
I did not catch this.
No.
Is he being chased by a reporter? Is he?
No, she's in the sidecar. It's after Jim throws to Kermit. It's like up in the corner, and they're radio controlled puppets riding around somewhere in Canada.
What the heck? Have you seen all the episodes of the Jim Henson Hour?
I've seen all the
first
Muppet parts. Yeah.
Okay.
I've only the storytellers. I have not seen. I've seen the other non-Muppet parts.
So you watched Lighthouse Island and Monster Maker and Dog City and all those.
Yeah. Dog City is technically Muppet, but yeah.
That's Muppety, yeah.
Rolf's in it.
That's true.
Sprocket's in it.
Sprocket, kind of. His head's in it.
His head's in it. Yeah, that doesn't look great. But yeah,
I feel like that's such a I understand that they reuse a lot of puppets a lot of times, but I feel like there's a certain line that we all understand exists where above this line, this puppet does not get reused as a different puppet, or if it does, you at least don't rip it in half and make it a whole different
thing. It has to have
thing.
the same body. It stays a live hand Muppet. That's what bothers me about Moki in the new Fraggle Rock is like,
really,
that's not really the same Moki. Like if she doesn't have live hands, in my opinion.
Oh, sure, that tracks.
Yeah, the live hand switch is odd. Whenever you see like a Dr. Teeth switch between live hand and rod hand,
He can kind of get away with it a little bit better to me for some reason.
Speaking of Dr. Teeth, what? He's here.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He's
just hanging out in the vocal booth.
He wanted to meet Smokey Robinson.
I guess so. Wouldn't that have been an interesting scene to show?
Yeah.
I could see him as a producer.
I mean, I think, is that the roller coaster? Is that what they're doing?
I think. Well, they're the Aerosmith, so they're the band.
Yeah, I suspect Scooter will feature heavily since his uncle will canonically own the recording studio. Company,
Yeah, sorry, Penny Waxman.
I hope she's in it at least somewhere.
Oh, I think you should not get your hopes up for that.
I bet there'll be a picture of her.
I do not expect that roller coaster to acknowledge that Muppets Mayhem ever existed.
I'm flashing forward a year. We're getting on the roller coaster, and she's the narrator of it, and I'm just saying, "I told you so, Matt." Come on. But yeah, this one, like Dr. Teeth being there, the Swedish Chef being there, Statler and Waldorf being there. It is just like, fine, we'll make the Muppet Show.
It felt like the end of the 2015 series where they're like, you all want a Muppet Show? Fine, we'll give you a Muppet Show.
You're all complaining so much.
Because there are more Muppet televisions after this one that are not exactly this reliant on the Muppet Show characters.
Because they never learn a lesson.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it just makes me think, like, how did they shoot these and when?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about with the first show episode where it's very clear that they're setting up a lot of things, but we are now ahead of them in the timeline to know that they did not follow up on most of those interesting things they set up.
But I think maybe even what Shane's saying is like, even the order, like what order did they shoot even the individual pieces of it and like decide to put it together? That's
a good point, because we've seen outtakes and things from episodes that there's no clue what that outtake is from, because there's behind the scenes footage of Jim saying like, all right, next week we're going to do this. And it's like, that's not in any episode. Like, where was that supposed to live? What episode was that supposed to be a part of?
Yeah, and also unlike the Muppet Show, they are not dedicating themselves like for months at a time to Muppet television. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not doing Muppet television week after week. They might be shooting like a Muppet television and then they'll spend a month on Dog City. And then, Fran Brill is like, wait, what does Vicky do again?
She just kisses Smokey Robinson a bunch, right? That's her role.
She really loves Smokey Robinson. She's in that other thing, like watching him like
dreamily in the booth
the whole time too. Yeah.
And she knew they were going to get to smooch later. She's like, I'm going to make this happen.
I wish they made more of a thing with that. At the beginning, she's just like, I got to find Smokey Robinson. And then you just see her in the booth being goo-goo-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, welcome to the show, Shane, where we pitch better ideas for the Jim Henson Hour because it's not a great show. But yeah, this is, sorry for this, maybe niche reference, at least from maybe the younger crowd.
I can't.
Empire Records is what I'm picturing.
Oh yeah.
Where you have a character. Yeah, you have a character in that movie played by Liv Tyler, who is very excited because there's a famous musician who's like an older gentleman who is doing a record store signing that day. And the whole time it's this buildup of like, oh my God, Rex Manning's going to be here. I am finally going to make my move and seduce Rex Manning. And it's like, yeah, we don't need to go that far with Vicky here. Yeah. But I do think having a little hint of that at least gives that little kiss a moment where she can, faint or something afterwards and just be like that, make that kiss mean something, I guess.
She does. It was really hard to see, but she does at the end of his first number. She kind of like slide. It's way in the background.
I was looking through Muppet Wiki, Jim Henson Hour things, and something I have already forgotten existed, but I keep having to remember is in our future again, is Bootsy and Brad.
Yes.
Oh, there's going to be more of those guys?
They got 2 more Bootsy and Brads.
Okay.
And that just, I think, is highlighting these weird ass things that they put in the show that they are not like committing to making actually a big part of the show. It'd be like if they did like one at the dance in season 1 of Muppet Show and they bring it back in season 2, like, remember this thing? You're like, I guess.
Kind of like what you guys say. You've said a lot. You know, there are many good ideas on paper for this show. I like the idea that they can experiment and do kind of any kind of bit that they want to do, that they're not bound by, this has to be a thing you could see on a vaudeville stage.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like they can do a music video, they can do a movie trailer, they can do a commercial, they can do this weird thing with these 2 human dolls. This episode I don't think is a good example of that theory, because everything in it is basically a Muppet Show skit.
It's a Muppet thing, yeah. But yeah, the hat on it part comes in when it is like, we have access to every satellite on Earth, when really it could just be we have a, as you said before, we have a TV station. That's all you need to say.
Like, this episode has nothing to do with the satellite station thing.
I was gonna say, like, we can pull from any source on Earth, and we're going to the Swedish Chef.
Yeah. Hey, my old friend's on TV. Like, let's use that one.
Yeah. I know all these guys. Who'd have figured?
Yeah. If only I remember their phone numbers.
Maybe that's why they didn't show up to work today. They're off.
Being more successful.
They all
They
went
got a 5.5 rating? Shit.
Yep. Kermit's like, I'm just going to pirate all of them. Fuck them.
I need to note there's one particularly upsetting backup singer.
They're all bad. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I think they all look awful.
They all are rough, but
they all look bad just because they don't match each other, really, I think.
Yes, but there's one that's not fleece covered and it has like the rubbery new Muppet texture we've been talking about.
Is that the one that's kind of got like the blonde hair?
No, the one that's sick at the beginning when she's walking by with the human.
Yeah, the one all the way to the left in the backup singer trio looks sort of alien-like. And then there's the one that looks like a Whovian with her like giant mouth nose protrusion going on.
Like a Who from Whoville? Is that what you're
saying? Yeah. Okay. Obviously. And then there's like one in the middle who's like the normal sort of I think either is or looks like not Dr. Bob's medieval assistant.
Oh, yeah. Just a Muppet. That one's just a Muppet.
The Miss Piggy generic Spirit Halloween costume of a Muppet.
I just don't. This one looks like a ventriloquist dummy. It just kind of looks like the sort of puppet that I feel like Jim set out to like not make, I suppose. Sort of like, I just hate all of these real rubbery skin guys. And I wish I didn't. I almost don't hate Digit, but I also hate Digit too. But I wish I didn't. I'm trying really hard.
I wonder how we would feel about them if they weren't next to other Muppets, or if you brought this up before, Sam, if Clifford didn't stand out so strikingly as also a new Muppet, but doesn't look like this.
They can still make a good Muppet that looks like an old school Muppet. Yeah.
I've said it 1,000 times. The show needs either a laugh track or music or something, because at the end of that first opening number by Smokey Robinson, it just cuts to silence as Kermit in the studio goes, "Good stuff, Smokey. Way to go." And then we just move on with no applause, no excitement whatsoever. Smokey Robinson singing his heart out, and nobody cares.
And this is something that came to mind listening to you guys and then watching this episode. Unlike backstage at the Muppet Show, like that is not part of the show. Mm-hmm. Whereas the control room, Kermit is always looking at the camera. Right. He knows that we are seeing this, and yet he makes no effort to make that part entertaining,
more interesting.
Even if he just looked at us and he was like, "Wow, that was great." That's all it takes, Kermit, for me to believe that you believe it was great, as opposed to "Good stuff. We filled some time, Smokey."
Yeah, he says that was great, and then he just walks away to some other part of the room.
It does feel like there's parts of this where the first draft line got left in, where they wrote down, "All right, Kermit says something positive about Smokey's performance. All right, what's next? Gonzo comes in and makes a weird gun joke about his nose." And they get to the on set, and Jim's like, "So I'm supposed to say, like, way to go, Smokey?" They're like, "Yeah, that's perfect. Just say that." But yes, Gonzo does wander in with his nose bandaged up. Kermit asks what happened, and he says, "I was just cleaning my nose and it went off."
And that's like one of two things he does in this whole episode, so it's not even memorable.
Gonzo in this whole show is just like, he's clearly not working. He's just hanging out.
That's one of the weird things too about this control room, is that backstage you can conceivably imagine people are just waiting to go on for something, but they're performers. They don't necessarily have jobs.
They
Whereas,
shouldn't be there. It's dangerous
Yeah.
for them to be in the control room, in fact, probably.
like Gonzo doesn't have a job. Leon doesn't have a job. Link doesn't have a job.
Bean is the only one with a damn job. Bean and Kermit. They're
He's
the
got
only
like 6
two.
jobs.
Yeah.
He's out here making
Vicky's
money.
his assistant.
Oh,
Digit's
Vicky,
like the
yeah,
technical
sure.
director.
Uh-huh.
Everybody else is just like, I don't know why you're here.
Kermit needs to put his foot down and get everybody out of that room.
We also very rarely see anyone doing work. We just have like Kermit shouting off screen, "Hey, someone do work."
Yeah. He tells someone off screen to cue the intro.
Yeah, but we don't see like a big giant switch being pulled or something. We get some more exercise with this health and fitness theme with Bina size. We do get to see, because of this, Statler and Waldorf at home, maybe? Or in the lobby of the Muppet Theater where they haven't left.
They didn't leave. That's
They
sad.
don't really make it very clear that they're watching TV.
They're in
Oh,
two
that's a good
big
point. They really
velvety
don't.
chairs, and behind them is a big like red curtain
Yeah.
that looks like it would open up to the box they sit in.
Uh-huh. Maybe their apartment adjoins the box. They just cut a
guess.
hole through. They live in the building next door. They just
Maybe
cut
they
a
bought
hole
the
through
theater
wall.
after the Muppets left.
Yeah.
They got nothing to do because they have a whole TV studio somewhere else. The theater's empty.
That's really sad. They all moved to California and left Statler and Waldorf in New York.
Or they rent
London
it
or
out.
wherever. Yeah.
Maybe Statler and Waldorf are just running like community theater productions out of that theater now.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's really sweet.
Just heckling children.
Uh-huh. Which one's Waldorf? Which one's the little guy with the white hair?
Waldorf is the one that's hopping around.
Yeah. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying he's the hot one.
Which one's the hot one? He says something so weird when it's like, that was great. And then Statler shows the show. He says, no, I swallowed my teeth. Did he mean his teeth tasted good when they swallowed them?
I think he's maybe more enjoying the potential future death that is coming.
Oh, because his teeth will shred his insides.
Yeah, he's just like, no, I swallowed my teeth, which is better than watching this television show.
Finally.
None of their jokes are very good in this one.
Very rarely are anyone's jokes in the Muppet television segments any good. There's like a magic that's missing to this show that I don't know if it was time constraints or I don't know, lack of attention people were able to give to it, but there just feels like there's a certain magic that is missing from even like a second or third pass at this script.
Magic, you say? Well,
Oh,
have I got someone for you?
it is Merlin the Magician MD,
That's right.
who last time was it a guy with a fish through his head?
Yes.
And now it's
Oh.
a guy with a sword through his head? This like pale imitation of a more successful Muppet Show bit makes it even sadder for me.
And then when they just do regular Swedish Chef bits too, it's kind of like, well, why don't you just do Veterinarian's Hospital again?
It's a little better when they lean into the medieval aspect of it, when he's not just making really labored puns, but he's like putting leeches in his face.
I
or-
liked when
That
he
was
put the
good.
leeches in that guy's
The
helmet.
leeches
I
in the
thought that
face
was
and just
cool.
shutting it, be like, there we go.
I mean, I kind of liked when he pulled the sword out of his head and turned it to Elvis. I thought that was okay. Stupid, but okay.
Yeah.
That was maybe my. I don't know if I've ever had like a Jim Henson Hour Muppet Television whiplash as much as I went from, man, the leeches were, oh, Elvis is here, damn it.
But also, I segued over Bean's greatest moment in this whole
Yes.
episode.
Link
yeah.
is afraid because of his Canadian snout fever that he thinks he has, that he only has hours to live. But don't worry, because Bean's here, and he's like, that's okay. Those hours can be fun.
I loved that.
He says, say hello to Mr. Balloon, who he's had a Mr. Balloon before on this
Uh-huh.
show. This is a repeated bit. So he's bringing a balloon to cheer up Link. The balloon pops. And so at first, Link thinks his nose has exploded, but Bean reassures him, no. It looks like your new friend had to go away. It's called death. Bean's vocal tone on It's Called Death is the least Bean I've ever heard, and I love it.
Sam brought this up before, but he's got great Grover energy, and like that is something I could totally see Grover do.
Yeah. I think we said he's a
Yes.
successful Grover.
Yeah, Hollywood Bean is so, and yeah, just but maintaining that, like, it's not like not like other things we watched. I feel like where there's like the cute children's entertainer who turns like twisted when the cameras turn off.
Mhm.
He just like brings that to its logical conclusion of even death can be cute and cuddly if you
Mhm.
think about it. Is such a good, like, he's the only good new character. I like Clifford quite a bit, and I like him even better when he's a crystal guy at the end, because it's like that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
But Bean is beautiful. I love Bean.
I just wanted it said on the record that I still hate Merlin the Magician's assistant, who just says
I
ta-da.
couldn't believe she was doing it again. The ta-da thing. That was
Yeah.
so annoying. Even he is like, shut the fuck up. Trying to do a thing here. You're no Piggy and Janice.
We get a brief appearance of Lunch Encounter Monster, who also appears to have caught Digits cold.
Well, this is also right around the time that they're probably doing some of those meeting films where he is figuring heavily. Maybe?
That's a good
maybe
point.
like a couple of years before. So corporate
Yeah.
America loves this guy already.
It's that guy who was in my HR training video. Cool.
Well, speaking of corporate training and executives,
Whoa.
Bunsen and Beaker are here with a Muppet Labs.
They're just doing Muppet Labs.
segment.
What the
Exactly.
fuck is going on?
But they're not in a lab. They're in a boardroom showing us new
I mean,
workout boots.
I thought they were kind of in Bunsen's office, just pretending like that was supposed to
was
be
it like a set?
corporate. That was sort of what I got, was that they were like in their university that they work in or whatever, in their little office.
I feel like it was one of those moments where Kermit says, "Oh, it's Bunsen and Beaker from Muppet Labs," and Bunsen's gonna be like, "Hey, Kermit, you know we don't work there anymore, right?
Oh.
Like, we have our own place now. This is Bunsen Labs." But they are there to just show us some workout boots for the busy executives that will work out for you. And of course, it leads to Beaker being physically injured.
I liked it. I thought it was fine. I didn't like when Beaker said, "Oh no, that seems like it's betraying the Beaker thing." But I thought this was good.
I feel like we had, my memory is escaping me, I feel like maybe Muppet Baby Beaker was a little bit more like that.
Oh,
Like he was able to vocalize just a tad bit more than normal Beaker, and we also didn't like that. We do get a normal Swedish chef show, which is supposed to be a health food show. Jacques Roach is here.
I can't believe he's more than a one-time character.
Let me tell you, Sam, you're going to see this exact same bit again.
On the Jim Henson Hour?
Not this exact thing, but this pair up doing this kind of exact same shtick will turn up in another episode.
So Jacques Roach and Swedish Chef are kind of a duo for a while.
Yeah.
Like, hey, these
for a
guys
hot
got funny accents. Here we go. It's the last two accents we can do without actually being offensive.
We could get an Italian guy in here too. He is kind of a proto Pepe in this. I feel like I know it's not the same. If it was the same performer, then it would be like there's a direct evolution to Pepe. But he's got a little bit of a Pepe thing going on.
And I like the premise of the Swedish chef fighting something that literally cannot be harmed.
That is
no
fun.
matter
Now
what
that you
he
say
does.
That. That's true.
Yeah.
And Jacques is so nonchalant about like having a fridge dropped on him.
Yeah, it's like the chef can only get his jollies when he can murder. And this is the one thing he found that he cannot kill.
That's a fun way to think about it. I think I'd like it better also if Jacques was smaller. He's just so big and creepy, I think.
We get to see Kermit, who, again, is laying out the concept backstage, saying that he's bummed that everyone's getting sick on his show about health and fitness, which I still will contend is a good idea.
And nobody's really getting that sick. Like Digit was sick for a second, and then he kind of is feeling better, I believe.
Well, and Lunch Encounter Monster sneezed them across the room.
Yeah, he sneezed that one time, is right.
Clifford suggests maybe a more holistic approach to health, suggesting that Kermit wears a giant crystal around his neck that will focus his life force and channel positive attitudes.
I really like this.
Is open to until it brings him down to the floor because it's too heavy.
Thought this is such a good characteristic of Clifford to be like new agey. I think is cool.
We do get some good glimpses of Clifford of like, okay, he did the evolution story with Ted Danson. He's got the crystal thing going on. I feel like when he shows up, he'll do a little like interesting nugget of something.
Yeah. And like it almost it kind of like in the text makes sense that they'd be like, this guy comported himself well on Muppet television. He gets to be the host of, like, it kind of makes sense he's the host of Muppet Tonight.
And it's some good puppetry because he unclips it holds the
Oh.
chain in his hands, and he wraps it around Kermit's neck.
Didn't even think about that.
Whoa.
But yeah.
That's
You,
wild.
you can kind of tell how they do it, but it is just wow.
He's probably just a guy in a blue suit.
Yeah.
It's probably just a guy in a blue suit being like, here it go.
Yeah, pretty much. But it looks pretty convincing.
Unfortunately, I'll speak for myself. This leads to the most baffling, weird, worst moment of this episode.
It has nothing to do with the theme at all.
No health or fitness involved in the.
Unless you consider
There's a cabbage.
I was gonna say, unless you consider cabbage healthy
They are healthy.
Cabbage is health food.
Cabbage is certainly healthy.
and beef.
But yeah, basically this Kermit falls from the crystal and just yells, "Cue the story!" And then we get cartoon backgrounds with live actors playing out like a fairy tale from, quote, way back when the roads were all squiggly, which honestly is the best part of the entire thing.
The highlight of the thing.
I do like that cow who's talking about real estate value.
Yeah,
Yes.
I actually kind of thought this was okay. It doesn't fit in, but I thought it was kind of like a little Sesame Streety or something like that. And then at the end, so it's like this farmer's meeting different talking animals and letting them into his house. And then at the end, when their clothes started talking, it was kind of like, that's like cosmic horror or something like that.
Yeah, that got weird. It's like, hey, I'm your skirt. It's like, what?
I
think it just made me question, like, who are these people?
It did do that. That's true.
Like, we have Smokey Robinson. He's our guest. Like, you think about the Muppet Show. If you're going to have a human in your thing, it's going to be your Muppet Show guest. And
like, why shouldn't that be Smokey as well?
Yeah, like Smokey should be in the bit. Or we have this weird running thing where, unfortunately, Chris Langham is always in these things as a character. He was in the exercise video. And at least that's like, at least that's like a recurring person that can be recognizable, that like you don't need to know too much about, but you can see a face that you're like, oh, this is the guy who acts in the thing.
A repertoire or whatever of people.
I do kind of see this as like almost like the origin story of Muppets in the world.
Oh,
like an old folktale, because it's like one day, suddenly these little guys are talking to me, and now they're ruining my life
because we invited them into our world too much.
That's right, you're exactly right.
A medieval Muppet movie.
Kermit turns to the camera and says, "And that's where Muppets came from," and leaves.
And Robin is terrified. Like, why would you tell me that as a bedtime story, Uncle Kermit?
What do you think about Kermit wearing a shirt?
I was confused because I thought when it first popped up that it was like a fake muscle shirt because it makes him look a little bulkier, but it turns out to just, I think, be a sweatshirt because he's working out.
A big workout sweatshirt, yeah.
No, because the quality of these things, when it first popped up, I was like, oh, is he wearing like a fake muscle suit to try and be buff?
And Franz kind of thing.
Yeah, and then nope, just a yellow sweatshirt.
That would look cool.
Would have been cool if they had Hans and Franz on this, huh?
But what we get for a closing number instead of Hans and Franz is Smokey Robinson, who has just told us that he is a big fan of Link Hogthrob. And so he's excited for his closing number now, where it turns out he's performing with Dog Lion, Sweetums, Timmy Monster, and Vicky and Leon.
Yeah, there's the group shot at the end where it's only the Swedish chef is like the only real recognizable character. And I'm like, this doesn't work very well, I don't think.
It's this thing that they do different versions of. It feels like every episode where they're like, and now time for everyone who was in the episode to come back and perform together.
Oh, I love that, though.
I do when it makes sense. This is not that, though. I feel like, what was it, La Bamba they did recently? I feel like that made sense. This one, like Leon wasn't here the whole time. He just shows up. All the monsters weren't here the whole time. They just show up.
If those farmers had showed up, then that would be.
I'm okay with that. Old Cabbage Head, he can show up. I also like that he called himself Old Cabbage Head, by the way.
My name is Old Cabbage Head. I'm newly born into this world.
I'm the first
and my
speaking
name...
cabbage, and I've decided to call myself Old Cabbage Head.
Cabbage Head.
But that wraps up the Muppet Television segment of this episode of the lowest rated TV show on the planet that day. And that brings us less abruptly than others into the second half of the episode, where they are showing us the Song of the Cloud Forest, a.k.a. Boober the Frog Finds Love, a.k.a. Golden Toad Loneliness Epidemic.
The Quest for Frog Sex, perhaps.
Yeah, the Quest for Frog Sex. Kermit wrote this one.
Oh yes, absolutely did.
Like, what if we wrote a story about a frog that really wants to have sex?
Where he gets to have sex at the end. Wouldn't that be one? Are we supposed to still have this file this away under health and fitness somehow in our heads, or we're
That's a
beyond
great
that?
question, Sam.
In the past, they've tried to pretend like it's supposed to be
Oceans,
connected.
lighthouse, boom, nailed it.
Yeah, that's the one that makes you think that they're all connected thematically. And when you gave me the options to like which episode you want to talk about,
Yeah.
you said just fitness. You didn't have this part
Yes.
on it, and I completely forgot that this was even part of it.
That's fair. Because like they don't all do that. Because obviously you have the outer space, which has the heartless giant storyteller as the second half of the episode. So
yeah.
And there's no storytellers about aliens.
It feels like these are just the names they put on the front of the script for the episode that they didn't necessarily expect to be the public representation on a wiki in the future of what this episode should be called.
Oh, a Muppet series, like a Creature Shop series, where they recreate famous alien sightings with Muppet aliens would be so fucking cool. That would have haunted me as a child.
Well, I think these titles are reflective of the Muppet television half, not necessarily the whole hour.
But sometimes
it's
because
these all
weird.
came from a document that was about the Disney Henson sale and like what properties they were getting. And
gotcha.
So these all of these came from that because Disney was just getting the Muppet television halves.
Oh, interesting.
And before we were using just fake titles.
Well, to kick off this conversation, I'm going to start with a sad postscript. The last sighting of a single male golden toad was on May 15th, 1989, and it has since been classified as extinct.
Oh, so it had been extinct for 2 months already when this aired?
It was not declared extinct until 2005.
Okay.
But the last recorded sighting was just before this aired. So they had their finger on the pulse.
That's grim.
Nobody watched it, so they didn't.
Yeah, if it had been more highly rated.
This was their last chance, yeah.
Yeah.
The last golden toad hired an ad agency to make
TV viewers in 1989 killed the golden toad.
Yes. Because it was the lead. Oh, no. We did it. It was our fault.
Oh, you just had to watch 21 Jump Street. It was a rerun. You watched a rerun to kill a frog.
You think he felt responsible for frogs in some way? Like there was a part of him that was like,
It's like
I gotta help these guys somehow.
It's like Steven Spielberg kind of felt bad about after Jaws. People were fearing sharks and wanting to murder sharks.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, man, I'm the frog guy now. I guess I got to care about frogs.
They've done so much for me.
It would have been easier if I had just kept being the dog guy. You don't have to convince people to love dogs.
I don't know the name of any type of frog. I gotta brush up. This sucks.
What did you all think of the song of the Cloud Forest?
I thought it was fine. Yeah. I thought it was kind of like, sometimes I'll watch stuff like this that has like the environment. We'll watch some of these things that are a little environmental, or like the Lighthouse one, and I'll be like, I kind of wish I was just watching Fraggle Rock. Like I don't know. It had that sheen to it in the background of Fraggle Rock. I thought the puppets looked pretty cool. I thought the CG, like the illustrated backgrounds, was kind of a neat thing. But yeah, I think it was just fine. I didn't like when the Robin showed up. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
When he first showed up, I hated him, but then I loved him.
Oh right, yes, okay, I understand.
I'm on the same You guys said fine. I think that is a fair assessment of this. I think it is fine. And I think your list of things that were interesting about it is most of the list of things that are interesting about it. I think the puppets.
That monkey looks really cool.
I think all the puppets just adhering to like one singular style.
It's refreshing.
Again, except for one notable exception. The Poochie of the song The Cloud Forest.
He really is.
Oh, you're so right.
But it is not necessarily obviously they can build great puppets. I was going to say it's an achievement, but I think it's an interesting challenge they sort of set for themselves to make all these new puppets to match a specific art style. And I think they pull that off.
I kind of liked all his friends too. Like I'm looking at them playing music, and I'm like, I kind of like those guys. Like the chameleon that changes color. They did a really good job of.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad all the animals were like, poor Milton. We love Milton. I think that's something that's like maybe in another thing they'd be like, you loser. You'll never have sex. But in this one, they're like, we love our friend. We're just so sad for him that he's about to die alone.
I also like, unlike Muppet Television, they play with the visuals that they can do on the green screen. So like they're doing overhead shots, they're doing pans and sweeps.
Totally, yeah, that's a great point.
I don't know. I felt like the opening of this was like a breath of fresh air. There's like a lovely, relaxing tone to the beginning of this, and especially coming off of Muppet Television is always nice to settle down.
Yeah, it's like Boober and Wembley having a conversation with each other or something.
I mean, especially the Boober side of it. Like, no shade to Dave Goles, but like that frog sounds a lot like Boober.
Yeah.
He's like more if Boober were just like a guy in a suit and he just had to like go to his job. That's what he'd sound like.
Yes.
But if it's a guy in a suit and he's really talking about trying to find a mate, I don't want to be friends with that guy.
You gotta call HR on that guy.
Yeah. I don't smell her musky perfume on the breeze. This frog's allowed to say that. A guy in a suit who sounds like Boober is not allowed to say that.
Whenever a hot lady walks in the building, he's like, wait, do you smell that?
You smell that musky perfume on the breeze?
And then he pulls out his boombox and
yeah, that's
starts
right.
serenading her.
Well, suddenly, as they're talking through just life in the jungle, life in the forest, 2 humans enter the forest, which, gotta say, I did not expect. They are uprights, played here by Jerry Nelson and Fran Brill. And you know I love a Jerry Nelson as a human role.
He's really getting to stretch his legs in the Jim Henson Hour. He's all over the place.
Again, pointing out how weird it is that he is there and could play his famous characters, even Robin.
Yeah.
What? You got Kermit there? He can visit the set.
He's a Robin in this.
Oh, no, he is. He sounds like Gobo, but he is a Robin, but not that Robin. But yeah, I think one thing this special does pretty well is obviously they want you to land on one side of this debate, but I think they lay out like a pretty nuanced take where the animals are disagreeing, the humans are disagreeing, and not in a way of like, I'm right, you're evil. Like they're kind of having conversations about this where you're kind of understanding both sides of the scientific. The only way we can make these frogs potentially, like for sure, continue to exist is by trapping them and bringing them to a lab versus the like, what if we let the female go and just see what happens?
I don't know. It seemed the ending of it seemed like not anti-science, but like misunderstanding science. And part of it,
you're right.
You have to be like, you can't take this frog away. He has friends, which is not really how frogs work. It's like that frog's friends with that bird. We can't possibly separate them.
Look how close he is to the snake. They're not eating each other. Something weird is happening here that we should not mess with.
If that really was happening, then sure. If there was, if you walked up and 5 animals were like going, it's like,
I think we need to leave.
They're talking about how that frog hasn't had sex in a long time. I can tell.
The animals all recoil when they overhear Fran Brill say they might cut all this down. But then she delivers one of the most beautiful lines I've ever heard, where they walk out into this clearing where the sun is shining through the trees, and she just says, sometimes this place makes me feel like I'm at church. And I'm like, whoa. Like, what? Why is that so good?
I don't know. It's like, did somebody who've been to the rainforest write this or something? David Young.
That definitely feels like something that, I don't know, it's sort of out of step with the rest of the special in a lot of ways.
It also kind of feels like a Fraggle. That sounds like something like a Fraggle would maybe say if they talked about church. It's just like,
what's church? Yeah. Like, oh God, yes, exactly. That's Doc's next day after he meets Gobo. He's like, let me tell you about my Lord and Savior.
Ours is a trash heap.
Oh, interesting. I like this sort of just, I don't know, the relationship between the animals I think is really nice because it's sort of this implied we must stick together to survive kind of thing, but they're not beating you over the head with it too much.
All of his episodes of Fraggle Rock were about this same thing. Like he did
Mm.
the Invasion of the Toe Ticklers, the Space Frog one, the River
That's
of
where
Life.
he got the idea.
That's where he got
From
the
himself.
idea.
Yes, and Space Frog Follies. He's like, okay, never working with a real frog again.
Yeah.
Well, they hear the uprights say that Milton is endangered and virtually extinct. So Milton has Wilf bring him down to the forest floor where he hangs out with his friends. And they sort of have a little debate of what Milton should do, because should he sing or die is
And even
basically
their
the way it's
debate
presented.
about if they should tell him or not was also like really like a complicated thing to have in a special like this.
But then they sort of merge it into when one animal disappears, it affects all of us. Which is, you know, as much as they like their friend, they want him to find a mate. They don't want to upset the ecosystem.
But if there's only 2 of them, they can make babies, sure. But then what are those babies going to do?
Rule England.
Frogs maybe can do it. Can't frogs? They can do some crazy stuff. Maybe
They
frogs
can.
are okay.
Some frogs can switch sexes. I
This
believe.
is all knowledge I've gleaned from Jurassic Park, but
Yeah, you can make a dinosaur out of that frog.
Yeah.
That's what Jerry Nelson's really there to do. There's a clunky joke in this discussion around what Milton should do and what will happen to all the animals, where the armadillo goes, "Milton's paradise lost forever."
I think that was supposed to be the title of the special instead.
Is that true that that's what it was supposed to be called?
Apparently.
Oh yeah, I see it on Muppet Wiki.
So you know it's true.
That's right.
Wink.
That's right. I think that's a good name. If that was the name of the special, I think that'd be pretty funny.
That raises too many questions.
I think it says that that's an armadillo, and his name is Art, but I'm pretty sure it's a pangolin, right?
A pangolin?
Pangolin, that's right. Isn't it?
He looks more armadillo than pangolin to
But
me.
he's named after He sounds like his name is Aardvark.
He's also got a Mexican accent.
I think he's supposed to sound like the little guy from Looney Tunes. You know?
Peter
Speedy
Lorre?
Gonzalez?
Peter Lorre. Yeah.
I was like,
No. I think he's supposed to sound like Peter Lorre.
That's what I thought.
really?
Yeah,
Huh,
that's what
I thought he was
as
doing
well.
a bad Mexican
I
accent.
thought it was Mexican by way of Peter Lorre.
That was kind of the same impression.
I mean,
had
back in the
about
day,
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Peter Lorre played a Mexican in something. So,
Oh.
well, that is around the time when a little bit too cool Robin shows up, named Ralph Robin. And it's a little weird to hear Jerry Nelson's voice after he just walked off screen as a human.
Yeah, that's
But there's a Robin who shows up with sneakers and a sideways baseball
and like a
cap.
cool hat. Yeah, he's like an cool American guy. Is that right?
I think it's like, yeah, it's like I live in the city, not like these chumps out here in the forest.
Do robins go to the rainforest?
I can't imagine so, but
think
really,
they
I
would.
know nothing about robins. So it seems like he's this is his migration path, brings him through here. I don't know if he's always a downer, but he does come in and basically imply that he does not care that their home is being chainsawed down. And when they ask him what the uprights do once they cut down the rainforest, he says, and this leads to a rap,
He starts
that they
rapping everybody.
eat everything they take from the rainforest, including the animals. When I tell you, I don't know if I've ever had the moment where I've been watching a Muppet thing and I realized I literally had my jaw hanging open. But that happened this morning when I was watching this song, and halfway through, we have weird shadow people devouring zebras and parrots.
Little ones cooked into
Souffles.
cooked on souffles and like on skewers and they're like moving like, oh no.
And you see them in like boxes at the supermarket, and they're like pressed against.
Yeah, this is the
plastic
dark
wrap.
song from like a Disney movie that kids have nightmares about.
Yeah,
like
right.
This is the thing that like if you would let your kid watch Song of the Cloud Forest because of the bright, colorful things, they are going to ask you if they can be a vegetarian after
Luckily,
this.
nobody watched it.
Yeah. On the one hand, all the frogs died, but on the other hand, we saved our children's psyches.
The minds of our children. Yeah, we were already thinking about the brave little toaster too hard when the cars get smashed up.
That is exactly what I was thinking of when you brought that up.
That lamp is also Peter Lorre. I think Peter Lorre was everywhere, scaring us back then.
There was a lot of in the 90s just being like, we need a creepy voice for this. Well, we all know Peter Lorre looks and acts creepy. So
and we only know that from Looney Tunes. We don't actually know who Peter Lorre is.
Yeah, they're like, he's doing a Tweety Bird impression. I think it was like the first time I ever saw Casablanca. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get
That is
it.
the experience of growing up in the 90s and watching The Simpsons and Looney Tunes, is being like, that whole episode of The Simpsons was based on this movie? What the fuck?
I mean, every time we were watching Muppet Show episodes with a guest star that we did not know, we always knew their name because
That's
Krusty the
right.
Clown said it once. Like, and next up, Kay Ballard. And you're like, I don't know who that is, but okay.
They're all his ex-wives or people he played poker with. Yeah.
Or, Animaniacs or Tiny Toons kind of thing.
Yep.
Yes, Animaniacs too. That's right.
I'm sure we're doing this now to, children by writing.
Maybe. I feel like you see,
references.
I don't know. I like when you're watching Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends or whatever, it's not like a cartoon version of Ariana Grande is popping up, I don't think.
No, I think it has to be like a weird 90s reference that we would make to each other that kids today wouldn't get. Like, who is our Peter Lorre is what
Peter
I'm asking.
Lorre. Ours are all the old ones.
Maybe we need more weirdos is what I'm realizing.
Like the guy from Inglourious Bastards and stuff like that.
Christoph
And he
Waltz?
Yeah, Christoph Waltz, I guess, could be one kind of.
He'll be
That's
like the
not bad.
2000s.
That was too late. You're right.
Yeah.
Who was our bad guy? There's got to be like a James Bond guy that I'm not thinking of.
David Schwimmer.
That's
Yeah.
the one. Quick, do your best David Schwimmer impression.
Oh, jeez.
That was really good, actually.
Perfect. I was part of me was hoping you were going to do a Peter Lorre impression.
We were on the break.
Oh my gosh.
That was an amazing Peter Lorre.
You do a really good Peter Lorre impression.
All right.
Thank you.
That's what you get from not watching all those 90s cartoons.
Wait, I want you to say more Friends quotes. As Peter.
I've been divorced 3 times.
Oh my God, you're so good at that.
It's too good. That's going to be the rest of the podcast so we don't move on.
Oh, you found your new calling.
You get to go back to the 90s and be in all the cartoons.
All right.
Well, after what I think is personally, I vouch for a pretty interesting, good song.
I like it.
The rap song?
Yeah.
I was really hung up on the "they're all out there munching forest" line.
And they keep repeating that. It's like,
Hell
oh,
yeah,
we
bro.
are. That's what we
'Cause
do.
If you think about it, forest for us.
Whoa.
Oh, Shane.
They're coming for us.
Damn.
Well, unfortunately, this is when Milton gets real sad and wanders away and is like, well, what if I sing a less good song by contrast?
Right afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh,
It's-
I feel like that watching that song is one of the things that I encourage everybody listening to do. I feel like I
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
done that in a
no.
while,
That
but
is, the rap song
it's-
is definitely one of those things where if you don't watch anything else from the Jim Henson Hour, that is the one thing I would recommend.
the shadow people are really interesting. The like evil abstracted humans and all the little dishes they're eating with the cute little stuffy animals going like,
Yeah.
"Please don't
Yeah,
eat
it's
me."
almost,
They're like
you don't
toys.
think about the horrors of it until
Uh-huh.
you like watch it a second time. You're like, oh yeah, no, that's awful.
Yeah.
But he gets to the waterfront after he sings "There Isn't Any More for Me," and an alligator or a crocodile, who knows? No one knows the difference. Swims up to comfort him,
He's
and
an elder.
he's
I
an
thought that was
elder
a
with a
cool
Dr.
thing to
Claw
say.
like voice.
Yeah. Well, if you're really old, I think you sound like that.
Yeah, he's like, we were here long before the uprights came. We may be here long after they're gone. And you're like, hell yeah, dude.
hope so.
You know,
Yeah.
especially like alligator, crocodile, whichever one you are, sir. You've been here a really long
I
time.
think you're going to be just fine.
This frog, no.
No,
The specific
frogs
frog
weren't-
you're talking to, he's gonna be dead.
Frogs weren't really equipped to deal with a changing environment in any way.
So yeah, we get back to the humans, the uprights, and Fran Brill's character decides, you know what? I can't do this. I can't keep her in a cage. This is upsetting me. We need to let the female go.
And Milton is singing like a new song.
Yeah, that is basically his attempt to get the humans' attention is to get all the song of the cloud forest going,
Yep.
And to get the humans to realize, hey, animals.
Hey, science
I guess
is
they have
bad.
feelings.
We should stop doing science, I guess.
Yeah. It is a little anti-science because obviously the odds of this working out in the wild are quite slim.
Yeah, and it's not like they're taking him away to dissect him or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're just going to mate him, which, yeah, I mean, we see the frogs meet up. They seem to hit it off, but who knows? You know, I've been on first dates before that went well.
Right. They were having a great conversation. It seemed a little
Yeah.
surface level to me, but
Yeah, but we'll just
We're talking about their
assume-
interests.
different types of fungus and stuff that they like, which was pretty
Which is
cute.
also just the most boober.
Oh,
Like,
that's
I've never
true.
met anybody else who likes fungus, and you're like, okay, calm down, boober. And that is where we leave them, assuming that they mate for life and make all the babies who make their own babies, and the golden frogs were saved.
Would there be some value in this ending with not
Seeing?
a happy ending?
Oh, I thought you were going to say frog sex.
Like with or even like with one of those things that pops up that's like at the end of a biography movie that you watch and it's like
All the frogs
have
died.
I
the
know.
last reported sighting of all the frogs died. Basically, they did not have sex. Some stories don't have a happy ending, obviously, just like this, but these guys were too cute, I guess, not to have a happy ending. I didn't know golden tree frogs were real, so
I
Are
guess
you
to
into it?
encourage action, it's probably better to not say all hope is lost.
I suppose that's the whole point of maybe the
Hey,
entire
thanks for
special.
watching this special about the rainforest and how we should probably help it, but guess what? Too late. Give up. Burn it down.
Yeah,
Well, they already kind of did that with the Ted Danson thing,
that's
where it's
true.
like, oops, the oceans are polluted.
We messed them
Are
up.
things going to be better?
Mm. But at least that
Maybe
gives you a
not.
little bit of like, it's on you, dude. You got to take over control. Don't mess this up. This is just like, go against science and you will save the toads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we cut back to Jim and the lion, who are cuddling now, looking as, pally as they've ever looked with each other. And yeah, this is the moment we talked about earlier where the lion is wearing a tie and
He
Jim
made a
is
little
thrilled.
compromise. It's important in relationships.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Jim Henson Hour Fitness.
I'm kind of sick of this show.
Well, I got bad news.
I know. I was thinking how many more we have left and how bad I feel about that. I'm sick of the show. But I was writing the thing. I was like, I kind of crave the bizarreness of a Muppet Babies episode or something like that.
Wow, that's
I
how
know.
bad this has gotten as you crave
It's not
Muppet Babies.
It's not like it's horrible or anything. It's just like doomed because you know it's never gonna get. You know it's never gonna get more season or like episodes.
It's doomed, and it feels like it's scrambling from the start
Yes.
to
It's
try and be like, please watch us.
It's
And you're
unpleasant to
like-
watch them be so sweaty and desperate.
And I don't know why Jim felt the need to like constantly have to make new stuff for this. You know, like Wonderful World of Disney, they were just, there would be original movies, but they would also just be playing Donald Duck cartoons. and-
Right, he could reshow
Parent
Emmett
Trap.
Otter's Jug
Yeah.
Bang Christmas with a new introduction
That's a
and like
great
some
point.
behind the scenes info
Yeah.
or something.
I also don't know if part of the problem is if some of this stuff just isn't, like he thought about the Dark Crystal forever. And he
Yeah.
thought about Labyrinth forever. And it's just like these things he probably had like 6 months to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like we talked about with when we did the Inner Tube Hans My Hedgehog episode, where it was Hans My Hedgehog was what he really wanted to take off and work, but he was afraid it wouldn't. And so he wanted to make Inner Tube as sort of let's have a backup show that we don't spend as much energy on and see if that one works instead. And, you know, Hans My Hedgehog kind of worked, I guess, in some weird form.
But I liked Lighthouse Island. I liked Song of the Cloud Forest. I thought the Monster Maker was okay. If it had aired like Saturday morning, like Motorcycle Mouse, it would have been like,
Mhm.
oh, that was pretty interesting. But the Muppet stuff, that's the thing that's just like, they don't want to do it. And you can tell that he didn't want to do it. And I'm just like, I'm tired of that energy of like, I don't want to do this. Just put whatever puppets we have on screen. It's fine.
Well, it feels like all the other guys gotten out, and Jim was like, I guess I
Yeah.
have to be the one who is here and doing this, but still doesn't seem like he's enjoying
It's
it.
just him doing all. He's like trying to do a Miss Piggy voice. He's like, I'm like, oh, Kermie.
It's like, damn, it just sounds like Dr. Teeth again.
Oh, Piggy.
Yeah, Jim actually had a great Peter Lorre that he never let out of the barn there. Well, Shane, have we encouraged you to go watch any more Jim Henson Hour storyteller bits or otherwise that you haven't seen before?
I should get around to it eventually. It's just it's not a pressing matter. I don't have a podcast that necessitates me watching it.
You have a wiki. Think of all the facts you could include.
No, I gotta watch Sesame Street.
Yeah,
There's
there
too
is a
much
billion of
Sesame
those.
Street to watch. I think the most interesting thing for me is seeing like Link Hogthrob have his little moment in the sun on this weird forgotten thing is so odd.
I think there's parts we talked about where it feels like it's setting up Muppet Vision 3D with some of these
Yeah.
characters being like, oh, okay, this is where they sort of started that character being that role, like Bean or Waldo, obviously. Whereas other characters, you're more like, I guess they didn't need Vicky for Muppet Vision, huh?
Vicky didn't make the cut. Leon didn't make the cut, thank God. Digit. I just imagine how weird it would be to go to Muppet Vision and see Digit and be like, who
Digit,
the fuck was that guy?
He could, I think he could fit in a little better.
He could be in Muppet Labs. Like he could work with Bunsen and Beaker.
I think if he looked a little different, if they redesigned him and he was felty or something.
Maybe he's like the bicentennial man version of Beaker, like you've talked about a little bit before.
Yes, he looks like real Beaker. That's right.
And maybe Beaker finds him in a closet and Bunsen had been trying to create a new Beaker.
Yeah. Or Bunsen from the future sends Beaker from the future back in time and he's all robotic like that.
Any of these are good ideas.
Are they?
They decided to bring him back in a video game in a decade later.
They did?
Yeah.
Which
one
one?
we've played, Sam, on Patreon before.
Muppets Party Cruise.
He just like shows up as like a little like fun
Cruise?
fact thing or something. Like he's
like a host of the game, so you don't see him, but he has a whole bunch of voice clips because it's a game about like electricity. So I guess they didn't have a character who could do that thing.
Like the two scientist characters. I guess only one of their two scientist characters talks. So that would.
Well, Bunsen and Beaker have their own games.
Was Phil Van Neuter around yet?
He was.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why he wasn't in it.
There you go. Get me in these rooms, guys. You got, I'd be pitching Phil Van Neuter. Come on.
Well, I gotta ask before we get out of here, what non-Muppet things did each of you enjoy this week?
Movie-wise, last night I saw a little indie film by the name of Wicked for Good.
Ooh.
I didn't really know a whole lot about the show. I knew the music. I knew kind of the plot. Have you seen the first part?
I've seen the stage play and the first movie.
Okay, so like the whole thing about the animals was totally like, what? I had no idea it was about this at all. But I really, despite not knowing a whole lot about it, I really liked the first part. And it was funny. The songs were great. And I think a lot of people were saying Act 2 is not as good. And I think that kind of reflects the movie. It's not as fun by nature, just because of the source material.
Yeah, all the fun songs are in the first half of the play.
All the good songs are in the first half of the play.
Possibly true. There are two parts in this movie that like are trying to have more fun, and they don't really work. The whole thing isn't a slog or anything. It's just not as fun. The cast is still great. It looks great. I didn't like it as much as the first. I don't know if I would revisit anything in this movie the way I would the first one.
It seems to be what I'm hearing from pretty much everyone that I've seen talk about it online.
I also saw this movie because I saw the first one, and I felt exactly the same way. I didn't know anything about the play. I'd never listened to the music or anything like that. But I have heard kind of vaguely that the second half is not as good as the first half. And the movie, yeah, as you said, it was like it's mostly a bummer, a huge bummer the whole time. What are the two parts where they're trying to have more fun?
Oh,
when the wizard when they're singing with the wizard.
Yeah, the wizard song, and then can I spoil it for people?
You can spoil it here, and we can cut it out if Sam thinks it's too
when they're having the like cat fight in Munchkin Land.
Oh yeah, that was kind of fun.
It's just like there was those two parts, and everything else was not matching that.
And I do agree that the cast is great. I think Ariana Grande is really good.
She's terrific. Oh my gosh, she's so funny.
That's the one thing I do keep hearing is that like those two are amazing. Yeah. The movie isn't.
The second one is really like her movie almost more, I feel like. Ariana Grande's in it and has like the big character change in her part of the movie. The first one though has so many parts that are like, I don't know. It's kind of a stupid movie or whatever, but I was moved to tears so many times in the first one and not in the second one.
And I rewatch the What Is This Feeling song. I rewatch parts of that like over and over again. And I don't know what I would rewatch from this one. The main thing I'm binging is Adventure Time.
Oh, interesting.
Because I had seen it a little when it was originally airing and a little bit since then. But the spin-off, Fiona and Cake, the new season just started. And one of the main characters on that show is from the original show, and I have no idea who she is. So I thought I better bone up and watch a few episodes with her. And I was just enjoying it and watching just more random episodes. And it got to the point where I'm like, I might as well just watch this whole dang thing.
Does it hold up good?
It's not as funny as I thought it would be, but it is just so creative. Just like you never know what kind of joke is coming or what kind of character design is coming or what kind of voice this character is going to have. Because very often you'll have like this weird looking cow or this weird looking monster, and it's like Paul Scheer just talking like himself, and it's
Yeah.
it's really funny, that contrast, and it's just a whole lot of that kind of stuff.
I've heard the new Fiona and Cake season is really good.
It is. I wish it were not as slow, because it feels there are 10 episodes, which you would think would be great for a streaming show, because it doesn't feel like it is. It doesn't fall into that trap of this feels like a movie, but it's broken up into 8 parts.
Right.
It just feels like it's taking a while for anything to happen. But I like it. I just wish more things were happening.
Yeah, my thing was mostly that I watched Wicked 2, and it was fine. I was disappointed in it overall, I think, though. Wanted to have a rousing time like I did with the first one.
I didn't really have those kinds of expectations, just hearing what people thought of it. I think I knew, like, oh, this is not going to be as good as the first part, so I'll just let it be.
Yeah.
And just try to enjoy it for what it is.
Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I haven't been watching anything really new that I haven't talked about already. I've been watching through more of Dimension 20, Cloudward Ho, which I talked about last time, was like the first Dimension 20 thing that I've been into. And last night I watched a Formula One race because they're in Vegas. So they do a night race down the strip. And it ended with Mickey doing a show with the Bellagio fountains for some reason.
Not Mickey Mouse.
That's the one.
Mickey Mouse?
Yep.
Why was he there?
Because Disney F1 has a weird partnership thing going on.
Oh, okay.
So after they interviewed the winner of the race, they're like, and now Mickey Mouse.
What? Okay.
And so they cut away to what turns out was a pre-recorded Mickey at the Bellagio fountains doing like a Phantasmic show.
I saw Now You See Me 3 also. I forgot about that. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Have you seen those movies before?
I've seen the first one.
Oh, the second one's really good, and the third one's even better. But that made me think, because there's a completely superfluous F1 moment in it that I don't know why they did it. I'm sure there's
to promote the race.
Oh no, but they're in Abu Dhabi. So
there is, yes. Abu Dhabi is also
okay.
Real. I gotta watch them. I feel like they're very. I don't know, an interesting cast, and I keep hearing things like weird stories about what happens in them, and I'm like, I don't think I know what these movies are.
They're so weird, dude. And Harry Potter in the second one is so good too. Like that is worth watching that movie.
That took me a second to understand what was happening.
Daniel Radcliffe
with the sentence you just said.
I
was like, wait, is there a crossover? Harry Potter is in the second movie?
No, he's just great. But it reminded me of how you said that there was like a first idea jokes. Like they didn't go back and rewrite the jokes in in Jim Henson Hour. They definitely did not go back and rewrite the jokes in Now You See Me 3. Because there's a lot of parts where, like, there's a part where a lady's doing parkour and her friends are watching her, and one of them says, "Wow, she's like a little Mario," and then the other one says, "She is like Mario," and they do that same thing like 5 times in the movie, and it's just like, you guys are either really bad at improvising or they never finished the script.
Yes, and she is Mario.
Yes. And I agree with you.
Yes, and I agree.
Mario.
That's the stealth marketing for the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
That honestly thought crossed my mind as I was watching it. It's like, we have to remind people who Mario is.
Yeah, she's just like Mario. Man, I wish I could see another movie with him in it.
Maybe when he's in space.
Wow, wouldn't that be great? Let's all pause and now watch that new movie in the middle of our movie.
I am excited for that movie too, though. I got to tell you what.
Oh, that made me think. There's a part at the end of Wicked where they start doing the thing that's at the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah.
And it really made me think somebody could edit this so that I could loop forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, watch the special streaming cut, the forever loop of Wicked. Wicked forever.
That's a really good idea. Shane, you've had some great ideas, and you've done some great impressions.
Peter Lorre impressions. Yeah. We can't let that go ignored. But Shane, what do you want people to go read, watch, look at that you do on the internet?
Well, I'll tell you, boys. You can read Muppet Wiki, of course. I don't
All of it, start to finish.
Yep, all 51,000 pages.
Ooh, boy.
Tough Pigs, of course. You know, you kind of have to dig to find paid articles by certain people, but you should be able to find my name and click on it and see all the stuff that I've done. I'll plug the 70 Years, 70 Muppets podcast we're doing. And then if you want to follow me on the social media, Blue Sky at Sock Drawer, that's SOK Drawer. Instagram too. I don't really post there, but you can if you want. Follow me. And then on Letterboxd as Sock Drawer, where I'm rating and reviewing Wicked Part 2.
Well, we gotta let you know next time what we're doing. And next time, we will be celebrating our 200th episode of Commitment. That's so many.
We've been doing this too long. How many hours of my life editing this podcast?
Don't think about that part.
Okay.
So yeah, join us next time as we celebrate 200 episodes of Commitment with, just some reflecting back and maybe some surprises. We'll see.
Not too much reflecting or else we'll go insane though.
Yeah, I'm probably going to bring some stats that'll break Sam's brain a little bit.
No.
So, prepare for Sam's head to explode. Well, we got to thank our friend Tuna for making the music for this podcast and Cassie Wilson for singing our theme song. Don't forget to go to commitment.com for all commitment needs. And while you're listening to the podcast, you can rate and review it. I noticed recently that we're not that far away from 200 ratings on Spotify. So if you want to help get us to 200 ratings for our 200th episode, that'd be a nice little gift.
Yeah. Jesse Thorne will go on your podcast if you have 100 ratings. Maybe two Jesse Thornes will come on if we have 200.
Ooh, we get his evil brother.
Yeah.
But we're pretty far from 200 on Apple Podcasts. So if you want to throw us one over there too, that'd be appreciated.
I think that says more about Apple Podcasts than about us. Apple Podcasts has fallen off.
I think that's very true. But you can leave a review there with nice words attached to it, and we might read them on the podcast. And it might balance out that one-star review that we have from the person who did not like our Muppet Family Christmas episode.
Is that the one who said it was toilet talk of the worst to find or something like
yeah,
that?
He was really mad that we talked about snowman sex.
Toilet bowl language. That's what they said.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was our nastiest episode, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. Mike Falzone brought that out.
Because it was Mike's fault, yeah.
Well, if you want to get in touch with us and tell us what we've done wrong with this podcast, you can email us at mail@commitment.com or follow us on social media at commitmentpod or at commitment.com on Blue Sky. Or you can follow me at Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And as always, keep believing.
Keep pretending.
A third thing.